The scary truth is you might need to go through this particular bout of lust. Like, it might be necessary for you to recognize that you can't get any quicker to where you want to go ultimately until you be present with what is happening now. Like that. And that's a really frustrating thing spiritually, because you recognize that you want to ascend or transcend that particular struggle that you're having right now. And you know that maybe PMO is bad, or being very promiscuous. Maybe you're at university and you're understanding the allure of that kind of social culture and the sexual culture in that. And you find yourself in the stranglehold of it. And it feels like life is just throttling you in this particular position. And in your head you're supposed to be getting over this thing, and that it is an attachment that you have that is not allowing you to recognize source or God or oneness or universe, but it's got you in a chokehold. It's got you up against the ropes, and it feels like every single day you're just spiraling one after the other. You get some momentum in this area. You think you're through the cave, as it were, and you're back in that dark place. I had to go through that particular period because that is where the process of spiritual growth is essential. It's the ingredient. It is the catalyst. Like, a lot of when I was very holier than thou, I think I still get that egoic reflex now and again. You cannot carry yourself with this holier than thou attitude, because you recognize that the training camp for spirituality is earth. Right? Think about that. The training camp for spirituality is earth. And it makes no logical sense for you to portray and appease and market yourself as this perfect, pure human being if you're not doing the work. You're not in the mud going through whatever you need to go through right now, where you spend all your time avoiding it and detaching from that thing. Like, I had to go through that very whorish period in my life when I was going to university and was very, very promiscuous, very, very promiscuous, but I certainly added more to my notch count than I'm currently comfortable doing at a very quick rate. Because again, anybody that's had any experience with the university halls or the kind of student environments, it's like a big orgy, to be transparent with you. And I know that's very, very crass, but that's the truth. That's the reality. And think about this. And this is when my consciousness was very, very low. And part of the training wheels I had to wear in order to get to where I am at the moment is I fully made the decision to go to university and take out student loans for the purposes of promiscuity. Like, that was a driving factor. And I know that was a driving factor because I visited my friend in university at the time in Brighton. It's a city on the south coast, very nice place. And I got introduced to the halls and how social everything was, and how alcohol and paraphernalia and other substances starting to flow. And I'm starting to get a little bit of loosey-goosey. I'm talking to his housemates and his housemates' girlfriends, and you can kind of get carried away, with that newfound independence, and you have all the pleasures and gems of the world at your feet, drugs, alcohol, and women, and you can go crazy. And I did go crazy. You lose yourself in these things. I had to do it. I had to experience it, because I think there is a part of me that is understanding that you need to play the game at some kind of level. You have to play the game. Otherwise it would be boring. It would be so boring. Like, imagine if I don't think, and I'm speaking from a human being perspective, we can't be content with utopia. Utopia doesn't really exist. Like, that concept of utopia is not based in the real world. Because if it was sunshine and roses and rainbows, and me and you and all my brothers were all meditating in the sunshine, and there's birds singing and everything's perfect, some prick would throw a brick through the whole thing. Because we're designed for conflict in that way. We're designed to constantly be looking for the next thing in order to grow. We need that conflict. We need that turmoil in order to stress ourselves to grow. It never ends. It never ends. So then, you understand the point. I've recognized the point and the premise of this video is, if I understand that I hope I don't portray and market myself as having it figured all out, because I certainly don't. I'm going through my own evolution in this step, but I recognize as soon as I get past the current step that I'm figuring out, there's going to be another thing that presents itself. So what then what's the answer then, Joseph? The answer is just be in that moment. Be present with whatever. You're in the perfect place right now for your growth. And I know that's very trite to say, and I don't like saying these kinds of things, but you're in the perfect place. You're in the perfect place. Don't say it to yourself, I'd rather be back here or further along here. It's not true. There are certainly more places that are more maybe pleasant, but it's not conducive to how you evolve. Pleasantry is not going to involve you. It's not the ingredients for your evolution. You need conflict. You need that grind, that roughness, that texture. That's essential. Be present with the thing that you're experiencing at the moment. Dive fully into that. And sometimes it's painful. And that's going to be the catalyst that allows you to overcome it, because I recognized that pattern of lust was squeezing me dry. And I was very, very hollow and empty, and I didn't have any I didn't have any weight behind Joseph as a person. Like, I didn't have any strong opinions, or all I was interested in was getting high and drinking alcohol and talking to girls. Like I had the depth. Some of you that have watched me for a long time, and I say depth with them, forgive the lack of modesty here. I say depth from the perspective of the knowledge and information and the books that I read and the experiences that I have that allow me to shape my character. That didn't exist before, not even close. I didn't even read. Didn't happen. That process, this outcome, this consequence you can call it, has only come from being present with that, from being present with the pain and the suffering that I experienced as a consequence of the lesson that I was being given right now. So ask yourself, what are you afraid of right now? That's a good question to ask yourself. What are you afraid of facing right now? Because it's God and the universe going, You're gonna take the quiz? You're gonna study? You're gonna do the test? Because guess what? Once you pass the test, then you go on to the next one. And it's more interesting. It's a little bit more complex. It's like a puzzle you solve every single time. Engages the mind. It keeps you focused. It evolves you. There are some rewards along the way, by the way. There are some benefits. There are some synchronicities. There's some interesting stuff. Life is very, very... you can't say it's not dull. It's the one thing you can't say. It's not dull. You're going to be present with it? Facts, no theories. Speak soon.